minasan, konnichiwa. Welcome again to another edition of Have a Coke and Tea with the Society. My name is Yoshi Domoto. I am the Executive Director of the Japan America Society of Georgia, and so thrilled that you are tuning in. We have a special guest today, the co-chair of the membership committee of the JASG. We have Mr. Jim Whitcomb. Jim-san, konnichiwa. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what type of work you do.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. Konnichiwa. My name is Jim Whitcomb, the co-chair, as Yoshi-san mentioned, of the membership committee here at JASG. I am a commercial banker with JP Morgan Chase during the day and enjoy that very much. I've been associated with Japan for, oh gosh, it's going on 4 decades now. So what else can I tell you about myself? I enjoy the outdoors. I have 3 children. I have a wife who I married in Hong Kong about many decades ago. Many decades ago. Actually, I'm sorry, let me revise that. We married in Japan. She happens to be from Hong Kong.
All right. Well, I think we have a lot to talk about, it sounds like. But so Jim-san, you look American. I think you're American. But how did you get first introduced to Japan? Tell us about that story.
Sure. Well, I actually, it was self-motivated. You know, I used to watch a lot of martial arts films and things like that. And I thought, well, what better place than Japan to go and study martial arts? So when I was a junior in university, I decided to do an exchange program. I would say the university that I went to was a small university in the upper Midwest of Minnesota, St. John's University. And 9.9 out of 10 students going abroad went to Europe. And I was the 0.1 who went to Asia, specifically Japan. And that was my first introduction to it as an exchange student, and that was in the early 1980s.
Oh, that's amazing. So your interest and love of Japan started with martial arts, and gosh, now you're kind of full in deep, I guess, with Japanese culture and business and everything you do, not only during the day, but I guess outside of work too. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned where you went to school. Where did you grow up? Tell us about how it was like growing up there.
And so I grew up in Minnesota, in central Minnesota, in a small town called Wilmer. It can be found on the map. It's halfway in between Minneapolis and the border of South Dakota. You'll put your finger right on it. Wilmer, Minnesota. It's a small kind of farming community. I didn't grow up on a farm, but in that community. And I was there until effectively I went to Japan, and then I graduated from St. John's University in Minnesota. And after I graduated, I wanted to go back to Japan because I recognized it took more than a year to learn the language, at least for me. So I saved some money. This is maybe an interesting diversion. I worked as a carpenter for 1 year. And in Minnesota, I was involved in building 7 homes from the cement footings all the way up to the roofing and the inside finishing. I did that for a year and saved about $2,000. At that time, it took me $1,000 to buy, which you could at the time, a one-way ticket to Japan. And then I had another $1,000 and no place to stay and 2 suitcases. And I got on a plane in 1984 and I landed back at Narita and found my way to Tokyo. And I stayed for 5.5 years and found a place to stay and found work. And so maybe took a non-traditional path. And I focused my time studying Japanese and learning martial arts.
Wow. That sounds like an adventure right there. So instead of, I guess, hitchhiking across country, you went all the way back to Japan and kind of made your own adventures. That's wonderful.
Well, you bring up hitchhiking. Let me add another little story here. Of course, Yoshi-san, you know, and any of the Japanese who might be watching this understand that hitchhiking in Japan is very unusual. But after 3 months in 1984, my visa was running out, and my visa to stay in Japan, so I needed a new one. So what I did is, I didn't have a lot of money, is I hitchhiked from Tokyo, Japan to Shimonoseki. It's about 700 kilometers, I believe. I hitchhiked to Shimonoseki and took a boat across to Busan, Korea, and that was my first involvement in Korea as well. And then I got applied for a new visa, and I was able to return to Japan with a proper visa after I made that trip. But let me tell you, hitchhiking from Tokyo to Shimonoseki was quite interesting and much more dangerous than hitchhiking in the US in terms of the roadways.
Oh, right.
You're on these, you know, highways, freeways with huge concrete barriers and, you know, vehicles flying by. And there I am with my little cardboard advertising Shimonoseki.
Wow, that's gosh, I had no idea about that story. So but that's gosh, an adventure that I guess you'll never forget, right? So
yes, that was the Japanese were very, very good to me. A couple of truck drivers picked me up, and they would often, I mean, twice on 2 different occasions, they took me to their home, introduced me to their family, and gave me a little food, and then put me back on the road for the next one. And so I had a great receptivity. It was wonderful. I had hair that went like this, very curly hair, way down to my shoulders. After all, it was the 80s.
we'll have to definitely find a picture of that at some place and maybe play a trivia game. Guess who this person is, right? But
yeah, it would take a guess, that's for sure.
well, as the program name suggests, this is have a Coke and tea with the society. So I just wanted to share that I am enjoying a nice, refreshing Coca-Cola.
Nice.
We talked to Jim-san. So Jim-san, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking the same thing, Coca-Cola, baby. My favorite.
All right. The original taste, original Coca-Cola, right? So nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you told us a little bit about your adventures in Japan. Well, can you maybe tell us a little bit about your family and kind of, I know you talked about your wife and your kids a little bit, but yeah, tell us a little bit more about your family, some of your hobbies. What do you guys like to do on your spare time?
Sure, I'm happy to talk about my family. You can get me, I talk about them all day. So my wife hails from Hong Kong. As I mentioned earlier, we were married in Tokyo, in Roppongi, actually, in a small chapel there called the Franciscan Chapel. And we lived there from 84 through the end of 89, at which time we came back to the US, and my wife was 8 months pregnant. We had our first child then the end of 89, and we have 3 children, Philip, Natalie, and Stephen. They're all beautiful children. They're all taking their own kind of paths right now. They've all grown and are out of the house, so to speak. But we love them very much. And together as a family, we've done a lot of traveling. They've traveled quite a bit. They've traveled to many of the countries in the Far East. We've traveled as a family as well to Europe on a couple of occasions. And so now they all enjoy travel. They all enjoy cooking. My wife is a wonderful cook, and she's taught the children how to do that. And now they're putting their own style and flavors and things together. And for anyone who's interested, go to www.chefnat.com. That's www.chefnat.com. That's my daughter's cooking website. And on that website, you'll find all the foods that I've enjoyed recently, and that's the reason I have had to buy bigger clothes.
Well, tell us some of the, I guess, favorite dishes she cooks, and maybe your favorite Japanese dish.
So she cooks a lot of fusion stuff. When you look at her website, you'll see that you can definitely tell there's an Asian influence. That for her, what does that mean? That means Japanese, that means Chinese, that means kind of Korean, different things like. And from my perspective, one of the dishes that we all enjoy so much cooking at home here is tonkatsu. That's a huge one. We always enjoy that. And of course, sukiyaki. During the winter, we cook sukiyaki, and otherwise nabe, a lot of different nabe dishes. We cook it in the center of the table oftentimes as a family, and we enjoy that.
Very nice. Well, yeah, we will definitely have to get together again in person and enjoy each other's cooking and enjoy each other's company, right? For sure. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. Let's see. Well, going back to maybe some of your professional life experiences,
Sure.
what do you enjoy most about your work? What's kind of some of the challenges?
Sure. So as I mentioned early on, I'm a commercial banker with JP Morgan Chase here in Atlanta today. My career has gone from, as I mentioned earlier, I started out as a carpenter, and then I became a CPA, and I was an accountant for several years. And then I moved into banking in the early 90s. And so since then, that's what I've been doing. And as a commercial banker today, here in Atlanta, I'm responsible for building relationships with Asian companies, mainly Asian corporations. And if you look at it, look at the market here, we look at foreign direct investment, also referred to as FDI. And the biggest foreign direct investment in Georgia and in the Southeast is Japan. So a lot of Japanese companies have invested money here, which means there are a lot of corporations here, which means a lot of my work is with or should be with Japanese companies. Of course, there are other companies who have come from Korea, from China, from other Asian countries. And I focus on all of them. But again, Japan is a huge focus because of the investment and the number of manufacturing and otherwise services that they provide in this area.
Well, great. I know you talked about some of your expertise as a CPA in accounting and banking, but I just wanted to let the viewers know that one of your, I guess, biggest skill set, I think, is relationships. You are the ultimate relationship builder and people person. So I certainly commend all the networks and kind of friendships, both in business and in personal life that you made. So for everyone tuning in, definitely get to know Jim. He's a lot of fun during business hours and afterwards too. So
yeah, maybe too much fun.
Okay, well, wonderful. What are some of your future goals and aspirations, personally or in business wise? And kind of tell us about kind of the future outlook of Mr. Jim Whitcomb.
Sure. Well, I want to continue to raise a healthy and happy family, and that's always the family is very key here, and so we want to make sure that everyone is healthy. And during this COVID time, it's been accentuated, and it's just, I think all of us need to continue to be on watch and take care of ourselves in that manner. If one has their health, then they can continue doing whatever it is they enjoy. And certainly work is very important. I want to continue working for many years. And to do that, I need to maintain my health. And in terms of work, I'll continue to work and build relationships here, and look forward to just really getting to know more Japanese companies in this area and the finance teams that run those companies, or that help to run the companies. And, that's kind of where I am from a professional standpoint. And then on a personal level, I do a lot of woodworking. As you know, I make furniture and other types of things, and I want to continue to do that and for many years.
Well, wonderful. Well, you are involved in so many things and so many organizations too. So I definitely thank you for being, first of all, a good friend, not only to me personally, but also to the society and the community at large too. So thank you for all that you do. Now, just kind of to close things out, any final messages of hope or words of wisdom that you want to share with our viewers?
Gosh, I would love to say I have all kinds, but I'm just not that old. I'm not that wise. No, I go back to health. Just maintain your health. And I think, I try to live by the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I think if we all live by that rule, and it's around the world, right? It's not just America. It's all over the world, but I think that makes us a better place. And, that's one of the things that I will try to do is live by that rule and treat others in a manner that I would like to be treated.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. You're such a great all around person. So I really appreciate all that you do. So gosh, we talked all the way from martial arts to living with the host family, hitchhiking in Japan, getting married in Roppongi, and kind of banking, and now working also with kind of woodworks and cooking. So gosh, we covered a lot of topics today. But thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. And please visit the Japan American Society's website to learn more about us and our members. Jim's son is definitely one of our more active members, and as the co-chair of our membership committee, does so much to kind of bring in new members and expand benefits for all of our members. So thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.